Greetings, cherished listeners, and welcome to another episode of Camo's Mirror. I am your host, Camo. Today we will explore the topic, the science of motivation. Before we start today's episode, I would like to state that this program is intended for informational and educational purposes only and should not be considered as therapy or professional advice. Always consult with a certified professional for any questions you may have regarding this subject. Ever wondered why some days you're on fire and other days you can't get off the couch? We're unlocking the mysteries of motivation in today's episode. We are about to delve deep into the psychology that shapes our lives. How do we go about being fired up to enrich our lives and foster personal growth? What does it take to ignite the spark within? Joining us is Solomon, our partner in wisdom. He is an expert in interpersonal relationships and personal growth.
Thanks for having me, Camo. It's great to be here to talk about a topic I'm passionate about.
Let's start at the very beginning. What is motivation, and why does it vary so much from one person to another, or even from one day to the next?
Motivation, at its core, is the drive that initiates, guides, and maintains goal-oriented behaviors. It's what compels you to act, whether it's as simple as getting a glass of water to quench your thirst or as complex as pursuing a PhD. The variability comes from both internal and external factors. Internally, our needs, desires, and personal goals shape motivation. Externally, social environment, culture, and even the immediate context can influence how motivated we feel.
So, it's a blend of our inner world and the world around us. That's fascinating. How do psychologists classify motivation?
Primarily, motivation is categorized into two types, intrinsic and extrinsic. Intrinsic motivation comes from within. It's driven by personal satisfaction or the joy of doing something. For instance, you might engage in a hobby because it brings you joy. Extrinsic motivation, on the other hand, involves external rewards like money, fame, or even social recognition. Both types play crucial roles in our lives, but finding a balance is key to sustained motivation.
That balance seems crucial indeed. Can you dive a bit deeper into the science? How does our brain function in relation to motivation?
Absolutely. The neuroscience of motivation is a rapidly evolving field. At the heart of it are several key brain regions, including the prefrontal cortex, which is involved in planning and decision-making, and the dopamine pathways, notably within the mesolimbic pathway, which play a significant role in the reward system. When we anticipate a reward, dopamine is released, which not only makes us feel good, but also reinforces the behavior that got us there, creating a cycle of motivation.
It's like our brain has its own reward system wired into it.
Precisely. And understanding this system allows us to find ways to harness it, enhancing both our motivation and our ability to achieve our goals.
Speaking of achieving goals, what practical strategies can people use to enhance their motivation?
One effective strategy is goal setting, but it's crucial to set SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. This framework makes goals more tangible and attainable, which in turn boosts motivation. Another strategy is to seek out intrinsic rewards. Find joy in the process, not just the outcome. Additionally, building a supportive community can significantly impact your motivation levels. Sharing your goals and progress creates a sense of accountability and encouragement.
I love the idea of finding joy in the process. It seems like a more sustainable form of motivation.
Absolutely. It's about embracing the journey, not just the destination. This approach builds resilience and can lead to a more fulfilling life.
I think many of our listeners at some point have faced the challenge of demotivation. How can one overcome that?
Overcoming demotivation first requires understanding its root cause. Is it fear of failure, lack of interest, or perhaps external pressures? Once identified, Strategies like breaking tasks into smaller, manageable parts, focusing on the positive aspects, and practicing self-compassion can be incredibly effective. Remember, it's okay to seek help, whether from friends, family, or professionals.
That's reassuring to hear. Sometimes, knowing you're not alone in feeling demotivated can be a motivation in itself. Solomon, it's been enlightening discussing the science of motivation with you. Any final thoughts for our listeners?
Just that motivation is a dynamic and personal experience. Be kind to yourself and remember, finding what truly drives you can turn the seemingly impossible into the possible. Thank you for having me, Camo.
Thank you, Solomon, for sharing your insights and strategies with us. And to our listeners, we hope today's episode ignites your spark to pursue your passions and goals with renewed vigor. Until next time, keep moving forward on your journey to personal growth. This is Camo signing off from Camo's Mirror. Stay motivated.